Hi everyone, it's JC. This is a follow-up video. I am almost 5 weeks post-op now. And surgery went great. Surgery's still going well. The healing process was fine. Later on in the video, I'll show you what my incisions look like now. So if you're squeamish, I'll tell you when to look away or whatever. But I almost didn't make it out of the hospital. And this doesn't have anything to do with the surgery. This has to do with, I contracted, I think, viral pneumonia in the hospital, and I also had something called pleural lateral effusion, meaning that fluid was building up around my lungs fast and around my heart, and my heart rate was 150 beats per minute for 4 days.
Good morning. It is 6:41 a.m. on Tuesday, December the 17th. And I get to go home today.
And I had a fever of 40 centigrade for 4 days. And they couldn't figure out why, and they couldn't figure out why this was happening. So their only guess, which other doctors have disagreed with, such as my family doctor has disagreed, and this was the surgeon's opinion, that I walked into the hospital with pneumonia and didn't know and didn't have any symptoms, and it didn't get caught on any blood tests and no one heard anything, but I must have had it because the symptoms literally started the night of the surgery.
Hey everyone. It's 6:15 on the evening of December 11th, and it's been a few hours after my surgery. I'm just having my first set of liquids right now, and my mouth is very dry.
So let's go back to Wednesday, December 11th. That was the day of my surgery, and I was nervous, but I was excited to start my new life. And I'll show you.
Okay, so it's surgery day, and I'm here, and I'm in my blue hospital outfit, and I'd be lying if I said I wasn't nervous. I'm actually quite nervous. It's not about what the surgery is going to do, it's just about surgery in general. I'm very nervous. So anyways, I'm here in my little, what would you call this place, Joshua? Pre-operating waiting area, in my bed, in my gown and whatnot, just waiting for something. So surgery's at 10:30, and I think it's 8 something right now, so I've got a little while to wait. Yeah, so the next time I see you will be probably after surgery. Bye.
So after that, I get taken in, and I'm laying on the stretcher, and my IV's in, and I'm very nervous at this point because I've had several surgeries in my life. I've had a couple tumors removed, and I've had a breast reduction and all that. So it's not fun. Having surgery is not fun. But the fun part for me was starting my new life as a healthy, balanced weight person. Considering how... Why am I so washed out? Yeah, that better. Considering how I have been heavy most of my adult life. So I wake up from surgery, and I get told that it was a success. And I'm laying in my hospital bed, and the evening time comes around. It's around 7:30 p.m. And I'm like, okay, I got to get up and start walking because, we don't want blood clots, and we want the anesthesia to move and all that. So I take a walk down the hall by myself. And again, I'm sorry if I'm sniffling. I have a sinus infection. Excuse me. I take a walk down the hallway by myself very slowly with my IV pole and my little slippers on and everything. And I come back to my room, and this pain, this unbelievable... I've had 2 children, both without medical interference. And when I tell you that the pain was severe, I mean it was severe. It felt like my chest was being crushed. And when I looked down, the left side of my chest was caving in on itself. And the pain was so unbelievable. And then I started to cough really bad, and I started to wheeze. And I called out for help, and no one came. And I don't think I got help until around 2:30 a.m. because my roommate couldn't take me screaming anymore. So he pushed his call button and called out for someone, and they finally came in. And she was laughing, saying, "Oh, is this how you deal with pain? Oh, you can't handle a little bit of pain," or whatever. And then she took my vitals, and she stopped laughing. And she pushed a button, and doctors and nurses came running in, and a whole bunch of stuff got hooked up to me, and oxygen got put on me, and because my oxygen level dropped to 70. And so this went on for a few days. And then Friday, because the internist was not convinced this wasn't a problem with the surgery, because it came too quickly, they opened me back up for a second surgery to take a look around. They flushed out some infection that was in there, but nothing to do with my lungs. My lungs were just not having a good time. And when I say I almost didn't make it out, I almost didn't make it out. I remember going down the hall to second surgery on the Friday, and I grabbed the nurse's hand, and I said to her, "Please, I can't die now. I've got 2 small babies at home that need me. I can't die now. You have to help me." And, and she took my hand, and she looked me right in the eyes, and she said, "We've got you. You're not going anywhere." Sorry, it's still a little bit traumatic for me to talk about. So anyway, second surgery happened, and I, honest to God, I thought I was gonna die on that table. Like, I'm not trying to be dramatic or anything. When they strapped me down to that table and I couldn't breathe, and then they put the oxygen mask on, it felt like I was being waterboarded. It felt like somebody was holding their hand over my face, and I couldn't. I didn't mean to, but I was thrashing around, and I was trying to swat at the nurses, not out of anger, but because my body couldn't breathe. And that's not because of anything they were doing. That's because when they laid me down on my back, the fluid came rushing up around my lungs even more, and there was fluid inside my lungs. So even the small, tiny breaths that I was able to take were being suffocated out. So it wasn't good. This went on for some time. I didn't come out of the hospital until December 17th, and that's because they released me with pleural lateral effusion. The thoughts that I had a pulmonary embolism and viral pneumonia. But my oxygen levels were back up to like 92, so they were happy with that, and my fever was down, so they sent me home. Then, come December 21st, I was having a conversation with my dad. My dad came over to see me. I was doing okay. And then when he went to leave, he was gone for about 15 minutes, and I called him back, and I went, "Something's wrong. You've got to come back. I can't breathe. I can't breathe." And so they had to take me back to the hospital. And again, then I didn't get released until December 23rd, because just everything had kicked back up again, and I was struggling to breathe at home. And I really wanted to be home for the holidays, but I can tell you that Christmas this year for me was pretty crappy. And my mother-in-law, bless her heart, had my children for almost a month while I was in hospital, while I was recovering, while all these things, and she, you know, did everything for them, and even got my oldest to school and picked her up and packed lunches and fed them and bathed them and put them to bed. And it was a lot for her, but it was kind of like a winter vacation for them. So they had a good time. So that was my experience in the hospital and my experience after surgery. Now, so I have mixed thoughts about people considering this surgery because of the experience I had. My surgery was successful. My surgery is still successful. I've lost more weight than average. I was 259 on the day of surgery, and now I am 219. So, you know, I've lost a fair bit of weight. Most people right now would have lost about 20 pounds, but I've lost more than that. And I'm not intaking as much food as they want me to, according to my book and like what I'm actually eating, because I can't. Like, they tell you to stop eating if you feel full. So I take and it also depends. Like, for example, I can eat a half a fillet of rainbow trout, but I can only take 2 small bites of a chicken thigh, and they're both protein. So, you know, just know that even though it's protein, you might be able to eat a little bit more of a certain type of protein than a different type. And again, I'm not a doctor and I'm not going to pretend to be, so talk to your dietitian about all this if you're having the same issues I am. But I'm doing a lot better now. Right now I've got a sinus infection that I can't take anything for because I'm not allowed to take anti-inflammatories after after bariatric surgery. So I just got to suffer through that. But after being through the pneumonia, the pleural effusion and everything, it's fine. You just got to kind of look at yourself and be like, I've been through worse. I'm slowly starting to get back to myself again after being kicked in the nads with all this sickness and coughing. Oh my God, the coughing. Ladies, get yourself some pads after surgery, because if you start coughing, the flood waters come out. There's nothing you can do to stop it. And like the abdomen's quite tender after surgery. So I'm going to show you now what my belly looks like. Okay, so if you're squeamish and you don't really want to see like little incision sites that are scabby, don't look. This is my belly. These are my stretch marks from having my babies, my tiger stripes. This is the top incision. This is where they pull back the diaphragm. These are where the 2 instruments went in. There's another small one somewhere over here, but I'm not sure what that one was for. It's like a mistake or something. This one I covered back up because it was oozing a little yet. That one's still a little bit open and oozy. Like, again, if you're squeamish, don't look, but like you can see how it's a little oozy. I'll actually take those off. I'll replace those when my husband comes home. My husband, the nurse. And then this was the main incision. So you can feel like there's something, when you touch your tummy, you can feel like there's something here that wasn't there before, and that's the other part of your stomach. Now, there where it shouldn't be. But yeah, that's what I look like now. Squeamish people, you can come back now. We're not gonna show that anymore, but I'm quite happy with the way my incisions look. The technology that has changed so much, because I know someone that had laparoscopic surgery years ago, and their incision holes are like they're huge. Targeted exercises is a little bit difficult for me at this point because my breathing is still a little rough. And they also say I'm not allowed to exercise to the point of sweating, which is difficult because anytime I move anywhere I sweat. My husband has just been a complete saint to me. A saint throughout this whole thing. He stepped up and was both mom and dad at home. All the cooking, all the cleaning, back and forth between the hospital and his job, the children, like just everything. And then on top of that, he was my nurse. He was injecting me every day for weeks with blood thinners, and he deals with my incisions you know, he deals with when I have sore muscles, and just like, I tell him, I'm like, you're so brilliant. He could have been a doctor or a nurse if he'd have wanted to, but he makes good money for what he does, so I'm not going to complain. Anyway, so that's my update. To everybody that prayed for me and thought about me and sent me well wishes and sent me flowers. Oh my God, people sent me flowers. I just wanted to thank you from the bottom of my heart for thinking of me, for taking time out of the Christmas season to think of me and my children, and being sensitive to my struggles. It's humbling to me to know that people took time out of their day and out of their busy schedule, their busy holiday hectic schedule, to think of me and pray for me. It helped a lot. It was felt, because I never been so scared in my life, and I don't think I want to go through that anytime soon. So upward and onward, and we're gonna fill. You know, 2020 was not such a great start for me, but we're gonna continue to fill ourselves with positivity and good health, and you know, positive activities and things, because I'm now trying to battle with the PTSD of going through that hospital experience, and I don't want this to affect my children or cause anxiety or anything like that. So here we go, we're on it. Thanks so much for watching, guys. This is my last video on the bariatric series. If you're considering this surgery, please discuss it with your family and your family doctor. And listen very closely to your dietitians. Don't listen to anybody on YouTube. Okay? Don't listen to anybody on YouTube that tells you what you can eat, what you can't eat. They're not doctors, they're not dietitians, unless they are doctors and dietitians. But don't listen to people like myself that have had the surgery just telling you what to eat, because that can be quite dangerous. Everyone's body is different. Everyone's tolerance is different. Just don't do that to yourself. Listen to the medical professionals that go to school for 1 billion years for this kind of thing. Yep, more fishy content coming at you guys this year. Super excited for that. So if you enjoy that and you like me and you like my channel, give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. And I'll see you guys again soon in my next video. Bye!